we talked about what it's like from a fan perspective to first time walk into the racetrack and you just go, oh my God, look at this place. You had the same experience as a driver going through the tunnel, but now we're getting ready to go racing, all right? So I guess the first time you go out on the track, it's practice.
That's it. First time I go there, and I got this story is, you just got to picture this, okay? So I get in the car. Now, you got to admit, I probably have had some help from my older brother, Rusty, my brother, Kenny, Dale Earnhardt helped me, explaining just how to get out of the garage area onto pit road to make a lap. Everybody thinks everything's simple, but if you've never been to a racetrack, you don't even know how to get out of the garage area. You don't know the flow of traffic. Daytona used to have all these staggered garage areas. I know everybody's been there. Rich, you've been down right in the middle of that stuff, and like there's a garage here, 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 but traffic only goes one way. And there used to be a telephone pole in the middle of all that. You had to split the telephone pole because there was guys that hit it, So fortunately, I had all that. So I'm ready, and I'm going to work my way out of there. And I get to pit road, and they go, now when you get to pit road, you stay on the bottom of the racetrack all the way around to the back straightaway. Believe it or not, that's harder to do than you think because you're building up speed. And now, just to let you know, you're in a time of race car where you're just going to run wide open down here. You never lift. Mm-hmm. It's like, I never lift.
Well, somebody told me one time, I don't remember who it was. They said, well, you know how to race at Daytona, right? I said, no, go as fast as you can, right? Well, you take your right foot, you put it all the way to the floor. Take your left foot, put it over the top of your right foot, and you hang on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's pretty much true.
Unless there's traffic.
Yeah, there's other times. So here we go. Okay, you ready? First time there. I drive out. I go through the gearbox just casually, get up in the middle of the back straightaway, and I run down 3, and I think I'm against the wall, and I'm like 2 car lengths off the wall. I'm not near as close as I think. I come through the tri-oval, and I go down into turn 1. And Jeff Kent, that looks like a huge racetrack, right? Yeah. I mean, it looks really, really big.
But I imagine it's coming at you pretty quick.
Until it comes at speed, and it's like, oh, crap. That's a narrow corner. I mean, it's like, it's only 3 car lengths wide or 3 car widths, maybe 4 maximum.
Through the tri-oval?
No, down in turn 1 and 2.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
It's like, oh my God, I was stunned. I was like, holy crap, this place is narrow.
But when you go into turn 1, even at speed, does it look like there's a hill coming at you? Or?
It looks like a wall coming at you. I mean, you're driving down in there and you're looking, and there's just banking. And the uniqueness, the banking turns the car.
Right.
You hardly have to turn the wheel at all, meaning because the momentum / G-force / everything else turns the car. Now, sometimes it turns the car perfectly. Other times it doesn't turn the car quite as well, and that's where steering input and that comes from. But that was the first time, the first corner. Driving down in there was kind of like, I heard the phrase of you like threading a needle. You know how you put a needle in a little hard to do? And then somehow or another, as time went on, that race day, that practice day, whatever, you get brave and you get bold, and you have people, as the people that were helping me, my brothers and Dale Earnhardt, going, dude, first of all, when you go out, get up against the wall. And I says, I was against the wall. And they go, oh, you weren't even close to against the wall. Don't be scared. Get up there. And I says, I think I am scared. So it all went well.
I mean, can't you just take the top lane and that puts you up, or even you got to go even higher than that?
Well, here you got to remember, this is the first time. I mean, I know that. Believe me, I know that you had a legendary legend car career, and you know all about racing.
That's true.
All right?
But that was also one of my weaknesses.
Yeah,
they used to tell me, dude, you're diamonding the turns, okay? Yeah. You got to go in a little higher. Don't get down so low when you go into the turn.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing, without a doubt. So, end result, being at the iconic Daytona International Speedway, I learned all that. I learned what I was supposed to do. And we'll fast forward. I got in December.
So this was first time.
1992, first time on a racetrack.
1992. You're in
first
the ARCA.
time ever on a speedway.
In the ARCA series.
No, I was actually in a Busch Series car.
Oh, no kidding.
Time. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, my first couple races there were nothing stellar. I don't think I crashed or anything like that, but we didn't run that good. And so, but I showed promise. Like I impressed somebody enough. And we were at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the very end of November to very 1st of December. And we're at a charity event, and Kenny Schrader's there. Kenny's a longtime family friend. We've been around, you know, and he goes, man, you run pretty good them speedways, don't you? I says, well, I'm trying. He says, I'll tell you what, why don't we take an ARCA car and go to Daytona? He says, matter of fact, let's just make a damn drunken deal right now. We're going to Daytona. And I went, okay. I mean,
why all Ken Schrader's deals drunken deals?
Schrader is so much fun, man. He is so much fun, but he loves beer. I mean, he loves beer. And I found out
we have that in common.
Jeff Kent and Kenny Schrader would be the star-setting crew for my drinking team if I had one, because they stay coherent most of the time on top of it.
That's right.
So Schrader says, let's go to Daytona. And then, of course, we make the deal. And I call him like Tuesday or Wednesday that following week. I says, hey, I just want to remind you, you said we were going to go to Daytona. What do? You think I was drunk? I didn't remember? Hell yeah, we're going. He says, you know anybody wants to sponsor the car? And I went, I have no idea. Don't know nothing. So we ended up with finding a deal. And as Schrader says, we screwed up and won the race.
And that was the ARCA win.
That was the ARCA win, 1994.
Okay.
I win driving for Kenny Schrader. It pays $12,000, and they paid in cash back in those days.
Nice.
Because the ARCA teams didn't have money. Nobody had money. So
who gets the $12,000? Ken Schrader?
No, this is the story. And we never discussed it. Like, we never discussed if he was going to pay me or we're going to go. And he comes over. Schrader's done been to the pay window, they call it. That was the back of the trailer. He got $12,000 cash, and he already had it counted out. He walked up. He goes, all right, we won. $6,000 for you, $6,000 for me. And I looked at him. I said, you sure? He goes, hell yeah. Put $6,000 cash in my pocket. I was the happiest guy you ever seen.
You felt like a champion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Where that went from that point, besides the Busch Series deal, then I got offered an opportunity 3 weeks later to drive for Junie Donlevy in a Cup car.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So just, man, my success, honestly, at Daytona in 1994, Winston Racing Series 1990 in the Midwest, end up win Daytona in 94. It gives me all these opportunities. You know, and then it became a struggle from there.
So it's coming at you pretty quick, but you also had success in the Truck Series as well. So you raced in the Daytona 500.
The Truck Series didn't come along until...
That's true.
It started earlier, but it didn't go to Daytona until 2000.
Ah.
But go ahead.
But the Daytona 500...
Yep.
For Junie Donlevy...
Nope. Yes, in 1994, Bobby Hillin was driving for Junie.
Okay.
They decided to part ways about 4 races into the season. A guy by the name of Don Beverly, who owned a Busch team that at that time Jimmy Hensley was driving for. Beverly and Donlevy were buddies up in Virginia. I get a phone call from Beverly. He's the negotiator now. He's the in-between guy just because we liked each other. He goes, hey, you want to drive that 90 car for Junie Donlevy? And I was like, well, hell yeah. Or you not hell yeah. It was like, yes, sir. He goes, well, best thing I can tell you, you're going to get a phone call within the next 15 minutes. Get whatever, get some clothes in the car, and head to Richmond because they want to see you tomorrow morning up here.
No kidding.
And that's how it happened, man. I got in this old LTD Crown, whatever it was, old Ford that a buddy of mine gave me down here. I didn't have no money when I moved down, so he gave me this old car to drive. And
thought you had $6,000.
Well, $6,000 doesn't go a long way when you're trying to pay all the bills in the family.
When you have a family.
So
that's right.
That's kind of how the Daytona stuff progressed.
So you joined that team then halfway through, quarter way through the season.
Quarter way through of '94. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Finished the year. Ran just average. Junie Donlevy was the greatest car owner the motorsports world has ever known because he gave so many people an opportunity to drive his race cars. Young people. Kenny Schrader drove for him. Jody Ridley, Dick Tripp. I mean, just the list goes on and on because he loved being at the racetrack. He loved being around the racing business. It was not really that big a deal if you won or didn't win, but as long as you had fun, that was his big deal.
That's pretty cool.
And at that time, he had a great company sponsor him called Heilig Myers Furniture Company.
Absolutely, I remember that.
Heilig Myers was big in that era, and we just had a really good time. We raced together till '97.
So if it's once again it's Speed Week, Daytona coming up. If you're a team, and I guess the schedule's a little different this year because some of the teams had to go out to LA, participate in the Clash. But what is your week like? Are the teams are already there? The drivers are probably already there. They got their first practice session tomorrow afternoon. So
Yeah. So honestly, it's a very short, condensed session compared to what it used to be at Daytona. Literally, Jeff, we used to spend a couple weeks in Daytona.
I know.
2.5 weeks actually. And you literally, there'd be days you go play, crappy golf. I say crappy golf because I'm a horrible golfer. You would be having a great time, drinking beer, you had fun, man. You just did different things. And at the racetrack, now the teams are just rolling in. The 36 of the charter teams have all been through tech. Most everybody's cars, meaning they were out in LA, so they know what tech was like. Everybody's cars have been checked in the Charlotte area already before they roll into Daytona. So all these new Gen 6 cars should pass tech. They'll have basic practice sessions. You will not, I will bet you $1,000 you will not see big packs of drafting because there's no cars available. They can't afford to tear any of their race cars up down there.
Right.
There's not a lot of parts. They did make it aware, or NASCAR did make it that any team that wanted to participate in the Daytona 500 and they knew they were was able to get them one car. So besides the charter teams, the 36 cars that are chartered, there are some new teams coming about. Our buddy Greg Biffle, who was on our show a few weeks ago, Biff's got a ride
He's
now.
back, and I think when he was on the show, he either didn't know or wasn't allowed to say anything about it at the time.
I'm assuming after he was done with that show, he just wasn't telling anyone because he wasn't sure it was done, but it appears, and he's in a good RCR car, driving for a car owner out of New York, but it's all RCR prepared out of their shop. You've got another RCR prepared car with what they're calling the Money Team, the Floyd Mayweather program. That's a namesake from what I hear. Kind of only Mayweather kind of give the guy the rights to go use his name and try to get a sponsor. So they're gonna field a car. Carl Long is gonna field a second car. The Beard Oil Group, which Brendan Gaughan drove for. So we're thinking, and Rich might be able to find out during the show, we're thinking there's 41 or 42 cars that's going to be on the entry list for a 40-car field.
Right. It's going to be a busy week. And when I say that the Cup cars hit the track tomorrow, I realize you're listening to this after the fact. The schedule goes Tuesday, first Cup practice at 5 and 6:35. Wednesday is Cup qualifying. They're doing the single car qualifying again. And, of course, the duels at 7 and 8:45 on Thursday night. Xfinity race Saturday, Cup race, Daytona 500 Sunday. And then there's ARCA, trucks, and various different practices.
Truck race is Friday night, right?
Friday night.
Saturday is Xfinity cars, Daytona 500 on Sunday. What an exciting. I'd love to. I wish I was there.
That is it.
Wish I could be down there driving every one of them.
Daytona International Speedway. We're talking to Mike Wallace, and you're listening to Fast Car to NASCAR with the aforementioned Mike Wallace on the Speed Sport Podcast Network, presented by Crosley and NASCAR Digital Media.